How's it going, everybody? Robert here today, and we are back with our summer rebuild series. And in today's episode, boys, episode number 2, we're doing the Montreal Canadiens. This one was by request. Like I said, I have no plan for how I'm going to do these. I'm just going to pick whatever team I feel like doing next, unless you guys comment what team you want to see next. But this one was brought to me by Synixity, I think was his name. I might have butchered that pronunciation, but he requested doing the Montreal Canadiens, and if you guys remember, I did this one as a franchise mode on the channel, but it didn't go so well, and I kind of want to redeem myself, and maybe the pressure of trying to do it in 3 seasons will help me go ahead and get us across the line this time. So that is part of the rules. If you guys are new here, the rules are I have 3 seasons to win a Stanley Cup. Otherwise, it's an F. It's a failure. I'm trash. You guys can call me trash. But we're already 1 for 1. We did Vancouver. That one was the first episode of this summer rebuild series. So I hope you guys are enjoying the series so far. If you didn't check that one out, that one went really, really well. I'm going to try and make this one quicker. I know that one was a relatively long video, so I'm going to try and make this one quick for you guys. So first off, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the team like I usually do. Propose trade, see if we have any prospects first. I'm actually going to take a look at the line, see what we need before I go scouting out our prospects to ditch. And it looks like we've actually not got a bad team at all. Maybe instead of... So dropping Drew in would get us up there. Domi for Dano. No, thank you. I'd rather keep the zeros. So we do need ourselves a bona fide first line. First liners. So maybe to move Drew in or one of these guys like Tatar down. We don't really have a bona fide first liner. So if we were to get somebody who would be a top 6 guy, because then we would be able to get rid of Jake Evans here. I'm sorry, Montreal fans. You probably like this guy. He's just the kind of guy that a fan would like. Scratched. We don't really have anybody there. We have a lot of defensemen, though. Interesting. Defenseman-wise, well, we're looking at Shea Weber, Petrie, Chariot, and Kulak, and then Ouellet and Mete. So things aren't looking exactly fantastic for us, but lots of defensemen. Interesting. So we're going to have good chemistry back there. And then in goal, you guys know who it is. It is Carey Price. So it's going to be interesting to see where I go with this. We may have to wait until season number 2 before we can really make a push again. But I'm going to go ahead and check out what we have to trade away and what we could potentially go after. Like I said, I probably want to go after a top 6 winger first. And then after that, we'll let it be. Oh, we have Jesperi Kotkaniemi, and he's in the AHL. So I would... Man, he could get us somebody sick. You know what? I think I might get rid of Jesperi Kotkaniemi and go ahead and get ourselves a stud, that first liner, that real bona fide number 1 guy. I know you're gonna hate it, Montreal fans, but I just think if I've got only a 2-3 year time window, right? This season, next season, and then the following season. That's it. I'm not building for long-term success. I want to win 1 cup and then be out of here, right? So Jesperi Kotkaniemi is the kind of guy that has so much trade value. And who wants him? Arizona wants him. We could even trade him for a Taylor Hall or maybe a Clayton Keller who is signed for 8 years at $7 million, which isn't bad. We go after a guy like Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Obviously, I don't think that's the team I would want to trade with. Somebody else that would want him is Columbus. I don't think Columbus really has anybody I would like to go after. They don't have any of those bona fide number 1s. Here in Dallas, though, they definitely do. We could go after a guy like Tyler Seguin. That would be a serious move here. It would be over the league maximum salary cap. Let's see. Can we dump off any bad contracts on him? Karl Elsner's contract is not great. Byron's contract is horrible. Dallas would have more than 45 skaters in the org. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the least amount of trade value back from them. Is there anybody that they want to give up? No, just Honka, and he's not exactly throw-in value. So we'll just throw in probably not Hansel. Roman Polak, no thanks. I'll do just Melnick there. We would still be over the league maximum salary cap, so we would need to shed more cap. So maybe Tyler Seguin is not the move. We can't take on his $9 million. But I'll let you guys know if I find a trade. If not, I'll let you guys know what we're doing before the season ends. All right, guys, so draft picks mean nothing to me. Cap space is more valuable. So we're going to get rid of Byron here and his 4 years at $3.4 million. He's a 79. It's definitely not worth it. We're going to get rid of that second round pick we got from St. Louis. We're going to get a 4th and a 5th back from the Red Wings. One of them is the Oilers pick, but that's fine. So we're going to accept that trade. Jesperi Kotkaniemi will have to be called up, but we will worry about that in a minute. And then another contract that I'm looking to get. This is the call-up screen. I was really concerned for a second. All right, confirm that. We'll go back to best lines it, whatever. And there we go. So the other guy I'm looking to get rid of too here is probably Karl Elsner. We have a bunch of those 79, 80 overall or 79, 78 overall defensemen. I don't think he was even playing. If we take a quick look at the overalls here, we got Weber, Petrie, Chariot, Kulak, Juleson, Mete, Ouellette. Elsner's really an odd man out. We even have Cal Fleury here. So there's really no point in having $4.5 million paying to Elsner. Our defense, of course, not even that good. Chariot is not worth his contract either, but he's still an 80, so he's worth it at 28. Still got a little bit of value. But I'm going to try and get rid of Elsner too. It might have to cost us another second, but at least we'll have some cap space to move. Maybe Kotkaniemi for Seguin, like we were looking at. We will see. So guys, I found this trade. We have to give up our first, but like I said, draft picks aren't valuable to me unless we're going to get Lafreniere, and I really think we're too good to go after Lafreniere. And I think that the $4.5 million for the next couple seasons is too worth it. I'm going to go after another guy, the same guy I went after in my first episode with the Vancouver Canucks, Joe Thornton, and I promise I'm going to play him for 82 games this year. I know I forgot to do that in the last one, but it's going to cost us our first in Elsner, but we're going to get Joe Thornton, who's an 83 overall. He's going to be that perfect middle six center for us, really help that depth out. Another guy that could even slot in at that second line left wing, or we can move thing around. He could be in the top six. We just move somebody to the wing. But this is definitely a trade I want to do. We get that extra $2.5 million in cap space, so we're going to accept that trade there. And we now have a whopping $10 million in cap space, which means we can now see what teams will offer us for Jesperi Kotkaniemi. I doubt it's going to be anything too good. I'd love a guy like Tyler Seguin, but he's probably not going to pop up in this view. Well, wow, that's a lot from... They just want to give us futures. I don't want futures. I want players for now. We could get Fleury, but then we'd have to move price, and it's just a whole mess there, guys. Actually, it's not the worst idea ever to go after Fleury and a bunch of firsts and then trade Price for something, because we get 2 firsts, Carrier, who's he's not that great. I think he's better in real life than he is a 77 here. But Marc-Andre Fleury is an 87. I carry Price as a 91. Carey Price is a very, very good goalie, but what is Carey Price's value compared to... Okay, yeah, Carey Price apparently... actually, it's... Okay, let's take all this off and just compare him straight up. So Price has a lot more value than Fleury, which would make sense. But Fleury's also $3 million cheaper. So that could be a move we do where we get those firsts, movable firsts, and then we make a lot of trades. But I'm sure you guys want to see a lot of similar folks on the team. But I think I'd rather have Fleury than Price, especially for $3.5 million less. I know he's 4 overall points worse. But I just don't think having a good goalie is worth it in this game. Plus, we can get those firsts, trade Price in like 3 firsts. Maybe we can get something. Unless the Tyler Seguin deal is closer than I thought, maybe. We'll see if we throw in all skaters, go and throw in Kotkaniemi there. They want him. They probably, they don't want to give up Seguin, but that's the kind of trade that I probably would want to make. Let's throw in like a second in the deal just to make sure that I'm not getting, or let's throw in there first. Screw it. Why not? Let's go big or go home, right? It's too far off. So that's not actually that far off, I would say. Second rounder next year for Seguin. Seguin in a second for Jesperi Kotkaniemi. Still too far off. Okay, so it might have to be a lot more than that. We shall see. But do they want Carey Price is the question. Does Dallas want Carey Price? Probably not. I know Detroit does, but they do not. Okay, so there's a couple teams that do. Interesting. We'll have to see how I wheel and deal, but it could be kind of sick here, guys, if we go after some pretty good players here. The price lovers aren't as many in the league. So we're not going to get as many options for Carey Price, like Carolina maybe, but they're way over the salary cap. So if we did this and then maybe went after a guy like Svechnikov, Svechnikov's too high of value. Teravainen's not good enough in my opinion. I mean, Svechnikov there and Carey Price as well as a couple firsts, they would still be over the league maximum salary cap. So I'm going to come back when I do have a trade to announce, and hopefully it'll be a good one that you guys enjoy. So, guys, I have a trade. I don't know if it's going to go through or not, but we're going to trade Kotkaniemi for Tarasenko. I feel like that makes a lot more sense. It's not as big of a cap hit as Seguin, and he's still an elite player. 89 overall first line forward. He's absolutely sick. He's hopefully going to put up a ton of points for us. I'm throwing in the first just as a chance. It says too far off, so maybe we throw in the third and see how close we get. Because Kotkaniemi is more valuable than Tarasenko. Trade rejected. It's still too far off. If we don't add anything in there, it's just a bit low. Okay, so we only have to throw in a little bit more. We have a ton of fourth, so we'll throw in the Oilers fourth there. Still a bit low. We'll throw in probably now. Oh my God, we have so many picks. Jesus, Montreal, what are you doing? Still a bit low for them. Okay, you guys, what do you want? We want another fourth because I got plenty of fourths. Have two fourths. I'll keep my fifth there. Trade accepted. Beautiful. So Kotkaniemi and 2 fourths for Vladimir Tarasenko. And I'm sorry, guys, but it was just one of those things that Tarasenko is now an absolute stud. The only stud forward we really have, and I know losing Kotkaniemi is going to suck. I just don't think by the time he makes a big enough impact on this team, I think this franchise mode is going to end. This challenge is going to end by the time he makes big enough push. So another guy that I kind of want to get rid of is Carey Price. See what teams would want him. We could bring back PK Subban 1-for-1, but we can't get that Marc-Andre Fleury trade probably if we're not going for if we don't have Kotkaniemi. But they might still want to trade him. Like, Fleury is on the trade block here. They want to get rid of him. They want Suzuki and Philippe Deneau, or Gallagher and Paling, Tatar and Paling, Petrie, Ouellette in the third, or Domi and Ouellette. I don't mind because we got Jumbo Joe. We don't necessarily need Deneau anymore. Oh, man, that's actually a really interesting trade. I kind of like this trade because Deneau, I think he's got 2 years left, so he'll be here for the entire time. $3 million. He's an 83 overall second line forward. He's fine. But we could get PK Subban back. That would pretty much round out the defensive core. Nick Suzuki's not going to be... he's a 80 overall. He's good enough for the NHL right now. We're going to lose out on some bottom 6 potential. But we get Subban, which would fix our defensive issues unless we wait for the offseason. Because this would increase our cap hit by $4 million, and Subban's only going to save us $1 million. Interesting. Do we do it? Do we not do it? I mean, maybe there's a better guy than Fleury out there, a better goaltender. But he's probably the only one that people have on the block. Holtby's on an expiring deal, so we could rent him for a season. That's another option. But guys like Darcy Kemper or Ranta, it's just probably too big of a drop off for me to reasonably consider it. Allmark, Rittich, those are low end guys that we could, maybe get a bunch else. Corey Crawford, probably not going to want to go after him. Columbus is no longer goaltender city. Detroit's got nobody. Stuart Skinner, no, obviously not good enough yet. Sergei Bobrovsky on a $10 million contract. We're not saving any money. So realistically, we would bring in $16 million and get rid of 3 plus 10, so that's $13 million. So we'd take an increase of... I wonder if we could get Subban without having to trade away Price or get another defenseman, because I think that's what we need. We need one more top defenseman because Petrie's more suited for that second line. So if we get another top defenseman here, I think the defensive core is fine because we'd have Weber, some top defenseman, maybe Subban, and then Petrie. And then we'd have like Fleury, Mete, and Juleson to round out. Oh, and Chariot to round out the core there. So I'm going to go ahead and keep looking for a trade, guys. But I think we might have something going here. All right, guys, here's a trade I think I am going to do. I trade findered for some defensemen that were first on the block, and second of all, kind of met my criteria of that top 4 defenseman. We need that second pairing guy. We really don't have a lot of those, and I felt comfortable giving up Chariot here because, first of all, he's only an 80. We're getting that 4-point boost into Spurgeon. Brook is probably not going to make it into the lineup by the time he'd be ready to make an impact. He's a 68 overall. He's definitely not worth it at 20. Chariot, 80 overall, $3.5 million. I feel like even the $4 million increase next year on Spurgeon is better suited if I pay Spurgeon $4 million more than Chariot here, just because Spurgeon's actually kind of quality. So that I think is going to be the final trade we make here before we go ahead and start the season. So let's go ahead. I'm going to jump into the lines. We still have $2 million in cash, which is great. And I'll check in with you guys once I have the lines all set. So guys, these are the lines. They're looking really nice with Drouin, Domi, Tarasenko, Tatar, Thornton, Gallagher, Armia, Deneau, Lehkonen, Wheel, Suzuki, and Weiss. I do kind of want to sign maybe a free agent like Vanek or Pominville, or even both to fill out the bottom here. Right here, Joel Armia could be fine. Lekkonen's probably not going to want to play on the fourth line. He's a sniper. I don't think I'd want him there anyway. Defensively, we've got Petrie and Weber, but then Spurgeon and Kulak, which is getting a +3, which is great to see because Kulak is a two-way defender. Okay, so they're both two-way defenders that seem to fit. Ouellet here still gets a +3. Maybe I want to give Ouellet the time. What are his ratings? 82, 82, 85, 80, 81, 85. So yeah, we'll give Ouellet the extra time. Mete here, 83, 82, 86. So maybe Mete. Nah, he's not going to get us the plus. So we'll keep Petrie with Weber, Ouellet, and Spurgeon, and Kulak, and Mete. Nobody else out in the free agent. I took a peep at the free agent market. Scratched here. We've got Folan, Fleury, and Jake Evans. So I'm probably going to send those three guys down right now. We still have Price and Lindgren in goal for us. If there's a better free agent goalie, I'll go for it. But I think those are the guys we're sticking with for now. I don't really see a need to upgrade too heavily at the goaltender position. Obviously, we have Carey Price, who, if we make the playoffs, is going to be the guy throughout the entire thing. We should be fine there. And Charlie Lindgren here, he's okay. He's not great. He's not terrible. I don't agree with his 77 overall rating. I think he's much better. The only thing that really is under an 82 is his poise, so I'd rank him more in the low 80s as far as quality of goaltender. But I think we're gonna go ahead and sign a guy like Pominville. I know he was in talks with Montreal as potentially signing. A guy like Pominville would fit just fine. He's a playmaker, so the playmakers usually fit just about anywhere. Offer him a contract. If we give him 2 years, he wants 1.3. We'll give him the 1.3 for, we'll sign him for 1 year, see how he does. I don't want to commit myself to a contract that's just, annoying to have that I'm going to have to trade for nothing. As far as overall, here are the guys that are available. McQuaiden, Phaneuf, nobody else is really an upgrade. I mean, Vanek's that 81 scorer. He would fit on our fourth forward line, but I don't want to get another sniper. We already have Lehkonen on the bottom six, so I think Vanek is fine in free agency for now. Pominville will come in, provide that veteran presence for the bottom six, and I think our fourth line will look a lot better now. And I'm kind of excited with the way this team is looking right now, guys. I didn't do this much movement until the offseason with my Vancouver rebuild, so let's go ahead and get Pominville in there, do one final checkup on the lines. Beautiful. So Pominville is on the squad. I'm going to have to call him up and send Weiss down, which will be easy for me to do because I don't really care about either of these guys. Do you fit? Who fits better? Weiss? I think Weiss fits better. So we'll send Wheel down, I think. Wheel is a center. What about our special teams? Our special teams getting a +1 there. Penalty kills getting a +1. Armia and Thornton here. Armia doesn't fit. Weiss doesn't fit. Deneau doesn't fit. Okay. That's fine. It's still an even. So let's go ahead and send Wheel down and call up Jason Pominville, play Jason Pominville, and hopefully win Stanley Cup in year number 1. That would be insane if we could do it in just 1 year. You guys should just make these moves in real life if we win. It's duh. Obviously, these moves would never work in real life because there's probably no way that you're getting Kotkaniemi traded for Tarasenko. But we're going to move Drouin back up to that first line. That gets the second line a plus. And then we're going to move Jumbo Joe up to that second line there as well. Pominville there. Lehkonen on the fourth. Oh, look at that, boys. All right, we get a +1 now with Pominville and Armia on that third line surrounding Deneau, and then Lehkonen with Suzuki and Wheel. So if we do this, yeah. So this is perfect. This is exactly what I wanted to see. There's your defensive lines. Special teams on the power play. Gallagher, Domi, Thornton, Drouin, Weber. Why is Tarasenko not on that first power play? I appreciate Jumbo Joe as much as the next guy, but there we go. So we got Pominville, Deneau, Suzuki, Thornton, and Tatar. We have absolutely no defenders. We'll take Suzuki off and get a defender in here. Let's get Spurgeon. There we go. That sounds like a good idea. And Spurgeon there, move Thornton up. So Thornton, wow, it's the slowest power play line ever, but Pominville, Thornton, Deneau, Spurgeon, and Tatar. Our first one is Gallagher, Domi, Tarasenko, Weber, and Drouin. Awesome. Penalty kill, still a 0 and a +3. I'm very content with that. +1 and +1, I think I'd rather have that. So we're going to leave that as is, and obviously goalies have not changed. I didn't check the goalies in free agency, but I'm fine with Lindgren. I don't feel the need to spend the money there, but I'm going to start simulating, and I will catch you guys at the end of year number 1. Here we are, guys, end of year number 1, and might I add, it was a great year number 1 at that. As you guys can see here, it was a very tight Atlantic division. Boston was only 8 points ahead of us with 111, and we finished with 103, and the Lightning finished with 103, the team we're going to have to face in round number 1. Not very excited about that. Toronto with 93, the Red Wings with 90. So we were doing a lot of bouncing around up in the top there. 103 points would have been good enough for any other division, but the Lightning must feel gypped, finishing on the same exact record as us with 103 points. They would have won any other division except for this Atlantic division, which is absolutely stacked right now. But as you can see there, the trade for Vladimir Tarasenko has paid off. He's got 88 points in 82 games. I don't know why I clicked on the team stats, but let's go ahead and jump into our player stats. He far and away led the team, and that's kind of what I expected. We needed that number one superstar. We needed that bona fide stud, and the right winger Vladimir Tarasenko from Russia was the guy to do that for us. Then Jonathan Drouin up there on the first line with Domi as well. So they finished with 64 and 74, which is not great. Shea Weber had 63 points. Let's stick on forwards for now. Gallagher, Tatar, Thornton did well. Jason Pominville on that third line actually potted 22 goals, so a good free agent signing for us. Philippe Deneau had a good season there on the third line. Joel Armia, I believe, was on the third line as well. Lehkonen on the fourth line with Suzuki and Wheel, all finished with 20-plus points. And Lehkonen actually had 17 goals, so that's absolutely insane, guys. We had a great season. Shea Weber with 63, Spurgeon with 59 on that second pairing, Mete with a -6 on that third pairing, but got 17 points, Petrie with 15, Ouellet with 14, and Kulak there with 12. I believe Ouellet was playing on that second pairing with Spurgeon. That's what it looks like via the numbers here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right. Kulak, it might have been Kulak. I can't exactly remember who was playing on that second pairing. But overall, we had a good season. Goaltending-wise, Carey Price, thank God I didn't trade him. That is a Vezina season right there, if I've ever seen one. 924 and a 224 goal against average. Lindgren kind of dropped the ball, so Price really did carry the load for us here. Lindgren going 7 and 10, and Carey Price going 40 and 16 with 9 shutouts is absolutely insane. So I have a feeling that Carey Price will win the Vezina when we get to the end of the season. But all I care about right now is winning that one trophy at the end of the season. McKinnon up there at the top for points with 106. He's also at the goal scorers who bringing home a lot of silverware. Carey Price had the most wins out of all goaltenders. Save percentage, we're going to sort by 40 games. Carey Price, it's got to be him. Goal against average, it's Carey Price again. He's won the Vezina without a doubt in my mind. But yeah, so far this team has played really well this season, but we're going up against the Lightning in round number 1, who are a very, very tough opponent. And an opponent I'm not exactly thrilled to be going up against in round number 1. So like I do in all of these videos, we're going to go ahead and quick sim the first 3 games, and we're only going to jump in for elimination games. I'm actually getting kind of nervous right now. We know what Tampa Bay's throwing us. They got Gord, Stamkos, and Kucherov, Palat, Point, and Killorn, Goodrow, Johnson, Maroon, Joseph, Strelly, Coleman. So they have that, those 2 guys right there, and then Point. It's a sick top 6, even with these 3 guys being 83. It's really not that bad. Defensively, they have Hedman, McDonough, Shattenkirk, Sergachev, Coburn, Rutta. It's such a solid top 6. Like, their whole defensive core is just really, really good. And then obviously in goal, they got Vasilevsky and then Kana, but mostly Vazzy. So really good team. We're gonna have to play really, really well. We're gonna hope that Tarasenko and Price continue their form throughout the season. Same thing with Shea Weber. Shea Weber had a really good season. First time, I think, in a little while that he's had that good of a season. But a good one nonetheless. Hopefully, they can all keep it up for us. So let's go ahead and get the first 3 games over and done with. After game number 1, it's a 1-0 loss. Game number 2, we win. Can we win game number 3? We do, which is fantastic. Game number 4 is not an elimination game, but sees us go up 3-1 in the series, and now is the time where we slow sim each period, boys. So let's go ahead, simulate this first period. Or, I'm sorry, 5th game, first period of game number 5. How are we going to do? It is 0-0. Shots are slightly in our favor, though. All right. Second period sees us go up 1-0 with Jonathan Drouin on that first line, getting us the 1-0 lead. Both goaltenders playing quite well. Tampa Bay unable to capitalize on the power play there. First 5 minutes go by with Tampa Bay getting another power play now. Another 5 minutes gone. No goals here in this third period, but Montreal gets a power play and Philippe Deneau scores, gives us that insurance marker, and now we are up 2-0 in the elimination game against the Tampa Bay Lightning. 2 minutes, 1 minute, and there it is, boys. We have eliminated probably the toughest competition we could have drawn in round number 1. For a team that got home ice advantage. Brendan Gallagher finished with 4 goals, 5 points in that series. How did Boston do? Boston won 4-0. They swept the Blue Jackets. So we will be taking on the Boston Bruins in round number 2. Should be an exciting series as they were 8 points ahead of us. They weren't that much better than us. To be honest, we both were hot coming into the playoffs, so we shall see. But let's go ahead and take a peep at what Boston's got going. They've still got that sick first line. I'm almost positive. Nothing has really changed. Boston, Marchand, Bergeron, Pastrnak, Kasha, Krejci, DeBrusk, Bjork, Coyle, Ritchie, Corelli, and Nordstrom. So again, a really sick first line this time. I would say their second line is definitely worse than Tampa's, but their first line is probably better considering that they have that left winger, that Marchand, because Pastrnak and Bergeron are probably on the same level as Stamkos and Kucherov. So defensively, they got Krug and McAvoy, Chara, Carlo, Miller, and Grzelcyk. Again, a really good defensive pairing, well-rounded. It mimics more of ours. If you take a look at it, they got those three guys that are definitely top four defensemen, hands down. And then they got some guys that are just kind of plug and play options. You can move them up and down the lineup. It doesn't really matter where they play. They're going to do their job regardless. Then in goal, they've got Tuukka Rask, another great goaltender. And if he falters, Halak. So they got a great 1-2 tandem. Anybody scratch that we'd have to worry about? Doesn't look like it. Maybe more Hutton comes in, but I highly doubt that. So they have a really deep defensive core. Their forward core is fine. It's not as scary as Tampa's. But it's a really deep team nonetheless, and considering they finished better in the sim, it does scare me a little bit. So let's go ahead here, go up to game number 4, and see if we can get another elimination game on our hands here. All right, simulate up to this day. We lose the first game, we lose the second game, we lose the third game. We're in an elimination game here. Boston is up 3-0, having yet to lose a game in this playoffs. Well, it's going to take a minor miracle if we are to come back from this 3-0 deficit against a team like Boston. First period, Boston's up 2-1. Second period, it is 2-2 thanks to Drew in. And we might have a chance to avoid the sweep, hopefully. We get a power play opportunity, unable to score there and capitalize and take the lead. Halfway through this crucial third period for us anyway, Boston has 3 more chances if they drop this one. But with 5 minutes to go, it's still 2-2. Are we going to see an overtime game in game number 4 here in Montreal? That is exactly what we're going to see. We have flipped ends. We now get a power play opportunity, but are unable to score on that one. 5 minutes gone here in the overtime period. Very, very nervous to see how this one's going to go. And there it is, boys. Max Domi is going to keep us alive in this one. I'm not getting too hype over that. We are down 3-0 in the series. It just takes one bad game from Price or the team, one good game from a Tuukka Rask or a Pastrnak, and we're donezo, boys. So game number 5 here, Boston with the series on the line. First period sees us go up 1-0. Joel Armia on that third line just before the intermission. Second period sees Boston tie it. We take the lead with Lehkonen on the fourth line, and then Nordstrom on their fourth line goes ahead and answers back. And another 2-2 game heading into the third. We get another power play. Boston is taking quite a few penalties so far in these last 2 games. They do get a power play now, though, and are unable to capitalize, which is great because we don't want to give Boston too many chances. And Joe Thornton, with 8:20 left in the period, is going to get us a 3-2 lead with 4 minutes to go. Can Carey Price shut the door on Boston and make them start to sweat a bit? He does, and we win another game 3-2, and this time this one is in regulation. Game number 6 coming up here, and as you guys can probably tell, I'm starting to get antsy in my chair. I'm starting to get a little bit more excited. All it takes, like I said, is one slip up, and we are done. But man, could you imagine? I don't even want to talk about it. First period sees us go up 1-0. Thomas Tatar on the power play. Second period, sees Boston go up 3-2. No, that's the kind of period I was hoping to avoid. At least Kulak got us a goal to keep us within 1. We're going to really need to dig deep now. We've got a chance to force a game number 7, ladies and gentlemen. We have a power play and are unable to score. Halfway through the period now, we get another power play and still can't score, and we're still down 3-2. Come on, boys. We need something. Somebody step up. Be a hero. 3-2. Is that how it ends? And that's exactly how it does end. So 3-2 in game number 6. We did make it a little bit more interesting. But of course, we had to run into Boston of all teams. And I'm just going to... It was a good season. I think we made some good improvements, and I think we laid a good foundation for next season. So I will see you guys in the offseason. I'm going to completely skip the draft because the draft is not worth it. And Boston is your Stanley Cup champion, so I guess we can take some solace in that. But I will go ahead and jump in, skip through the draft, and get right to free agency and our re-sign phase. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, at the re-sign phase, and the expiring contracts we have are just Domi, Thornton, and Pominville in goal. Keith Kincaid, who I might have wanted to call up this season. He looks a little bit better than, he's definitely not a 78. He's a little bit better than Lindgren, though. But he doesn't want to come back, so we will let him go. We'll hopefully have a good amount of cap space. Domi had a good season, but not too good, where I think he's going to ask for crazy money. Yeah, that's about what I'd expect for Domi to ask for. Let's go 2 years at $7 million. I'm only going to need him for 2 more years, right? This was the end of year number 1. We got years 2 and 3. So if I can save any little bit of money, I can. So we're going to try 2 years at $7 million. Jumbo Joe does not want to come back. I don't know why, but he wants $3 million. That's not a terrible price for him. At his age, though, I don't know when he's ready to drop off. So let's just give him exactly what he wants. Pominville too. Pominville, I don't know what his deal is, but we're going to try and get him for the $2 million that he wants. He actually grew a point. Juleson, we're going to qualify. Mete, we're going to qualify. I think we can we'll actually see what he wants. 2 years. Can I get you at 1.5, bud? Because I do that. And then one of these guys didn't even play in the NHL, right? Juleson played in, Lavelle. So he didn't even play in the NHL. Victor Mete had a decent season overall, was a -6 though. 2 years at $1.3 million for him would be nice. We're going to keep Juleson qualified. I think these guys down here, Hudon does not want to come back, so we will release him. I'm going to get these guys back, hopefully. He wants a one-way deal. You can go ahead and say goodbye. So I'm going to hopefully get these guys back. I'll update you guys. Never mind. I'm not even going to bother cutting. We're just going to jump forward a day and see who resigns. Well, let's back. Domi's back. No, Domi's not back. He wants more money, and both Pominville and Thornton want more money. So Max Domi, 2 years at 7.2. See if we can save a little bit of money there. Jumbo Joe, 2 years at 1 year at $3.5 million. We'll try that, and then Pominville will try 1 year at $2 million. See if we can overpay a little bit there. Folin here, do you want a 2-way contract? Beautiful. You do. How about you, Olofsson? Gustav Olofsson. Yep. Awesome. Weiss, you were playing in the AHL. You don't want to come back anyways. Evans. Yep. Welcome back. Anybody that wants a 2-way deal, I'm just going to bring them back. Okay, let's go ahead and jump ahead. Domi is back. Folin is back. So that means Thornton's not back. And Pominville? Pominville wants more cash or to test the free agent market. So we still have $7 million. That's probably good enough to get us a second liner and a replacement for Pominville. In all honesty, Jumbo Joe was on the second line. He could have played on the third. We still have Deneau for another season. So I don't think I'm going to overspend on those guys. I think that would be the smart thing to do. We could always improve our backup goaltender too, but Lindgren is fine. He only played like 17, less than 20 games. I know that's a big chunk of the season, but I'm going to go ahead and finish these guys out, and we're going to get to free agency. We have officially arrived at free agency, and we will go ahead and check out who is available for our $7.5 million. So obviously Taylor Hall is available, but I would like to go to the affordable section. Thank you. And a guy like Strome here would replace that Jumbo Joe role, and I think would be better. Just quite frankly, he would be better. As far as we would probably need a center, because I think I like Deneau on that line a little bit more. But let's stick with forwards for now. There is a guy like Hoffman that's cheaper. Kubalik here, but he's a RFA. So he's affordable, but I don't really want to go after an RFA. I know we don't care about our picks, but he's a power forward too. I think I just like Strome a little bit better. Hoffman does look really, really good. Craig Smith is another guy that's really, really good. But Hoffman has just got that Strome. You know what? I think I want to go with Strome. Does he fit the scheme? He fits the penalty kill. Hoffman does not fit at all. Of course, Kubalik fits the top 6 forward lines. I think I'm going to upgrade and go with Ryan Strome here. Offer him a contract of 6 years, because that's the cheapest we can get him. 6 years? Yeah. 6 years at $5.75. Which would leave us with about $1.5 million to fill out the rest of the. Let's sort by overall instead of ask, which could make a difference. Erod here, wow, wants $4.5 million for an 82. No thanks. The second, yeah, like Josh Anderson here, who's an RFA. Jason Spezza would not be a bad guy to go after. He's a playmaker for the bottom. Cousins could be that guy to go after, right? He's an 80 overall. He's a playmaker. He is a little bit worse than the guys around him. He fits the first forward line, which is not exactly a concern of mine. But Spezza, Spezza fits the third line. I could go after Spezza, get a cheap older guy. Nosen here, Stefan Nosen, doesn't exactly fit. He doesn't look fantastic either. Guys like Jesper Fost here is $1 million. He's a sniper. I don't know if I want another sniper for the bottom six. Patrick Maroon here is that power forward. He would fit the third line. I think I'm going to actually do Maroon. If Maroon can get us the chemistry we need to boost that third line, because we would still have Armia, Deneau, and then Maroon now, which would be 6. So we'll sign him for that 1 year. As far as goaltenders available, who do we have? Okay, Leonard, Holtby, Crawford. Wow, a lot of guys are available, but nobody of prospect note. And, well, Tristan Jarry would be nice. He's an RFA. Same thing with a guy like Smith or Dell or Howard. But I just saw we had Caden Primo coming up who might make a jump. So we're just going to advance here. They want to give us Goligoski for Paling and Malik and Fitzgerald. We're going to just let it ride here and then see who we can go get. They want to trade us Kubalik. They want to actually give us Kubalik and Shaw. No, I don't want to do that. I'd really rather not. Strome is here and Maroon is here, so that is great, guys. We are going to go ahead and simulate to next season and check out the lines. Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at the very next season. I'll get out of the way here just a bit, but it's nice to see that Drouin and Tarasenko both grew. We can jump these guys. There we go. Strome, Gallagher, and Tatar now looks like a really solid line. Lehkonen, Deneau, Maroon is a really solid line. Maybe Armia instead of Lehkonen there. That would get us closer, and I think I liked the way Armia played anyway. Then we have Lehkonen, Suzuki, and Paling, which I think is a solid fourth line. Defensively, still it's not the greatest, but we have now Cal Fleury, who is an 80 overall, listed as a top 6 defenseman. Looks very, very good defensively. Spurgeon's down to an 86 too, which is interesting. If we drop him down there, we still get a +3, which I think is what I'm going to do. Jeff Petrie had a fine season. And a +3 to that middle pairing means we have an 89 Spurgeon with an 83 Cal Fleury. No pluses down here. Kulak and Olet, neither of them really fit. We have 81 overall Mete, so let's go ahead and sub out whoever doesn't really, who fits worse. I would say Olet fits worse. He's a defensive defenseman, so we'll swap Olet with Mete, see how he fits. That's a +0. That would still be a +1. So we're going to keep Mete in there with Kulak. And the rest of the guys are fine. If we go ahead and take a look at the goaltenders, still carry 89 Carey Price and then 80 Caden Primo, which is fantastic. I had some offers for like Primo for Kubalik, but I figured that our top 6 was fine. We didn't really need Kubalik. And that it would just be better to have Primo as our backup. So Drouin now instead of Strome. There we go. And I'm fine with this. We have Armia, Deneau, Strome, Suzuki, Tatar, the classic 5-forward power play option. So that's great. If we move Deneau up here for like for them, yeah, it doesn't make a difference. Penalty kill, Paling for Armia. Sometimes I just like swapping some of these guys. Oh, so if we move Strome up, Deneau gets that +1 down there, which is fine. Yeah, we'll keep the +1. So there we go, boys. And let's go ahead and simulate the season number 2. And hopefully we can, we don't have to run into the Stanley Cup champions this season. Unless we are the Stanley Cup champions. Then I would like to be them in every round. So I'll see you guys at the end of year number 2. And we'll check back in and see how we did. All right, guys, I find this trade awfully funny. I have to jump back in. But I find this too funny to not share with you guys. I think I might accept it too. Jumbo Joe, bring him back for another season. He's just a great depth piece. And Paling's playing on the 4th line. Jumbo Joe's not costing us anything. I'd have to re-sign Paling anyway. I don't know what he wants. So I'm going to accept that trade. We're going to go to the roster moves and go ahead and make some line changes. So we have too many skaters. That's probably because we have, I think, Kulak up here. Or how many defensemen do we have up here? Defensemen, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. So I think Kulak is out because we're playing Fleury and Ouellet. So Kulak, send him down. There we go. And that should be all set. Let's go ahead and edit the lines real quick. We can just hit best lines, I think, and just check it out what they say to do. Best lines it. They still have Deneau up there instead. Where is... okay, Jordan Wheel out. Center... Wait, scratched. Is he not scratched? Is he in the AHL? Oh my God, did they really put Joe Thornton in the AHL? That's very sad. Unless Jumbo Joe is... Oh no, he's not regressed at all. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. NHL, we're going to get Wheel out of here because he sucks. Boom, there we go. Let's go ahead and edit the lines real quick. Best lines it. See where they want to put Jumbo Joe and see if I agree with them. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. I don't know. Joe Thornton goes there. Maybe that with... that, and then Armia up there instead of Lehkonen. Yeah, so Deneau, Thornton, and Armia, and then keep Maroon down there. I wonder if Maroon would actually fit on the first line. Does he? Oh my God, he's an absolutely perfect fit. We get a +1 there if we move Drew in, and then say we move Gallagher out of that, and move Gallagher here. Ooh, I kind of like this, guys. Give the +1 up there, but that's Maroon only at an 80. He's played okay this season. He's a +14, but I kind of like the pluses all over the place. Petrie for Spurgeon, and then Mete for Fleury. Yeah, we'll do that. So Fleury here. How's he been doing this season? Just a quick sneak peek for all you guys. Oh my God, our first line is great. Xavier Ouellet has, and Mete's a -1. So Mete apparently is trash. Maroon, Domi +4. Okay, this second line is the bad line. So maybe moving Jonathan Drouin down to that second line will help them out. A little bit somehow. I don't know. But -2, -7, and then Deneau is a +15 with Joe Thornton a -6, but he wasn't playing here. Gallagher was a -1. So hopefully we've kind of fixed our little bit of an issue because we're doing okay. But I will jump in with you guys back at the end of the season so you guys don't catch too much of a sneak peek. So guys, here we are at the end of year number 2 in a very, very, very disappointing season. Absolutely, it was terrible. Like, it just kind of frustrates me this kind of season when our team gets better on paper, but performs worse. Tarasenko with 68 points only on that first line. And this was the lines. I was getting the +3 here. Maroon would have been an 82. That's not that worse than a Gallagher, 83 Tatar, and 87 Strome. You would have expected to put up points, but man, did they shit the bed. Maroon was a +14, so you can't blame him. It was really Tatar was trash. Really, the only trash player on the team was Thomas Tatar. And I'm sorry, bud, you just played yourself out of a contract, so have fun. Defensively, meh, it was like, I mean, it was insane. The first pairing was ridiculous with Weber and Petrie being a +32 and +23. Did our goaltenders crap the bed? Carey Price certainly didn't have a Vezina Trophy winning season, and Primo did what our backup goaltenders always do, because goaltenders suck in this game. We have one more season, so it's pretty much time to go all in. Hopefully we do well, but at the draft, I don't think we're going to win the lottery, so probably end up trading our pick or whatever player we get, and hopefully just go all in this offseason. Here we are, guys, at the contract screen, and we have $25 million in cap space with expiring contracts for basically Tatar, Petrie, Gallagher, and Deneau. Jumbo Joe now wants to come back. I think we're going to qualify Cal Fleury for sure. Jumbo Joe, what kind of contract do you want? Definitely not feeling $3 million for him anymore. We're going to just release him. Depends on what Tatar wants, because I know I said oh my God, he's been not good, guys. He's just minus. That's terrible. I mean, he's a minus in both seasons. He's literally just a big old liability. So you can peace out, bro. So we're gonna bring back Gallagher. How many years? 1 year at $5 million. Hopefully, will be enough to persuade him to come back, which would leave us with $20 million. I think in goaltenders, Lindgren, we're gonna offer him a contract. He wants a 2-way contract. That's fine. All right, Petrie now. Petrie, I do want to bring him back as he will flip flop with Spurgeon. Can I get you at $4.5 million, which would be awesome. And then Philippe Deneau, who's our second, maybe third line center, 1 year at $5 million there. So that's $15 million, would leave us with $10 million. Cal Fleury wants a contract of 1 year at $1.5 million, which is something I'm definitely willing to offer. Patrick Maroon was a really good fit for the third and second line. Definitely too much, though. Too rich for my blood. Armia does not want to come back, which is fine. He can leave. I'm not forcing him to stay. There we go. Arturi Lehkonen, and I'll give you exactly what you want. Olofsson does not want to come back, so I'm not going to bother arguing with him. We'll bring back Wheel just because I want him to continue to be a pain in my ass with the call-ups and send down. And we're going to send Maroon out on his way. So hopefully Gallagher's back. Deneau wants more cash. Petrie is back. Lehkonen's back. Fleury's back. Lindgren's back. Okay, so the only one that wants more money is Philippe Deneau. He wants to test free agency, which is not ideal for us, which means I'm going to have to pay him $5.5 million. Probably, which would still leave us with $10 million. I could still get I could probably get a defenseman for that. I would probably go after a $5 million defenseman and a middle six winger. That's probably the goal here. This guy doesn't want to come back, so we'll let him walk. This guy's a 71, so we'll bring him back. Why not? It's not like these guys are actually that important anyway. But I just don't want to have to deal with that whole AHL thing. Deneau wants more money so he can piss off. Goodbye, Deneau. I'm not even going to bother. You're not good enough for me to want to offer you more money. I'm going to let all these guys down here go, and the computer can deal with it as they please. So we'll get up to the offseason free agency period, and with our $15 million in cap space, see who we can go after. We'll submit a free agency real quick and then double check our contracts. I don't really care about our coaches. Did our head coach, do we need to sign a new head coach? Because if we need to sign a new head coach, then no, we got one. God, I got to sign the whole AHL coaching staff. That's awfully frustrating and annoying. I might have them auto do the scouts or auto do staff management. Rules, I think it's under rules. It's down here, right? No. Auto staff management. There it is. Was auto rotate goalies on? I'm pretty sure auto rotate goalies was on. Just wanted to double check. I don't know why I thought it might have been off, but auto sign free agents, I definitely wanted to be off. So, while we're in the third and final season, who really cares about the future right now? It's time to go all in this season. I don't care if it's a 37-year-old player. Shea Weber, wow, is actually up to a 91. He's grown. Jesus, I guess 2 seasons of 60-plus points and a plus 32 this season and 15 goals is good enough to get him to increase. Forward-wise, we got Tarasenko, Drouin's up to an 87, Domi's up to an 86, but I would, again, like to sign another top 6 winger. He could be somebody that could play on the second line or the first line, because I could always slide Domi down depending on who's available. Domi doesn't want to come back, but I don't really care. Then our third line would be guys like Suzuki, Lehkonen, Evans, Wheel, Blandisi. Oh, wow. So we do definitely need depth guys. Defensemen, we got Weber and Petrie, Spurgeon, Amete, Fleury, and Kulak. So I'm kind of okay with our defensive core. I don't think we need to sign any new defensemen. I would like to go get a new forward or two. And then if we have any money left, I will go after a defenseman. So who is a free agent? Who wants what? Of course, Thomas Tatar is the number 1 free agent. Dustin Byfuglien is a free agent. Kubalik is an RFA. I don't care. I'm going to go after him for 3 years. Sure, why not? We do not have the appropriate compensation to give him a contract. So it looks like Tatar or Philippe Deneau are the guys I should look to go after, because David Krejci is actually a good price for his overall. Like, he's that kind of guy that would same thing with Joe Thornton, but I think I'd rather try out David Krejci. 2 years, 3 years. Yeah, we'll give him 3 years at 3.75. That's not too much. I would like to go after Kubalik, but we'll have to see what we have to trade for him. Defenseman-wise, a guy like Byfuglien would not be a bad option. Jarmelson here is that defensive defenseman. Schultz is an offensive defenseman, which we might need. He fits the first pairing, which would be kind of nice. But we know Dustin Byfuglien fits everything. Wow, he's really, really good, isn't he? I would like to go after him. I will give him $6 million for 2 years. We'll give him the 2 years that he wants, $6 million. So we've spent about $11 million. So we really only have about 5 to spend still. So a guy like maybe Kovalchuk or a Schwartz, because is Kovalchuk already starting? Kovalchuk's actually still good. Jaden Schwartz still has a really good stat line. Although, I was about to say Kovalchuk, but then I looked at his defensive stats. So we're gonna go with Jaden Schwartz here. He wants 5 years. I don't really care because I'm not going to be here much longer. This is my last season. I would like to see what a trade for Kubalik might do for the team. What kind of offer we could give Chicago that they'd be interested in. Because a guy like Kubalik could be a really good investment. We'd have the money if I didn't. If I didn't go after Schwartz, maybe we would have had the money. But where is? Did he not sign with Dallas? No, yeah, did he? Sort by overall. There we go. Where is Kubalik? Oh, is Philly his team now? Because he was an RFA and Philly was the only team interested. Philadelphia Flyers. Yep, there's Kubalik right there. They don't want to trade him, which is interesting. Usually teams want to trade RFAs that don't. But Petrie and just Strome, Fleury and Primo, Suzuki and Primo, Mete, Primo, and a fourth. The Suzuki Primo deal is interesting to me. We're gonna want like $5 million. I don't know if I can offer that. If we don't get Schwartz or one of those guys that we're going after, I will go after him. But I really would like to not give up our backup goaltender. I know it's the last season, and I should really just go all in and get the best team possible. But we're gonna go ahead and sim to next season to see who signs with it. Krejci's here, Schwartz is here, and Bufflin is here as well. Which means we now have a whopping... Whoa, now we're listed as a champion, too. We now have actually $3.5 million left in the bank, and if we trade somebody with some kind of salary, we could still go after Kubalik and improve. Like, trade a Suzuki for a Kubalik. Then again, I'm not exactly sure how much I want to do that. But maybe they'll want to sign Kubalik if they can't come to a... Oh, they did come to a contract extension with him. So 1 year at $5.6 million. Are they still going to want that? Mete and Schwartz, Petrie and Kulak. I don't want to give up Petrie or Bufflin or Strome. And I don't want to give up Mete or Schwartz. I just signed both of those guys. So we're going to say no to that. And I think, that we're listed as champions. So let me jump into the beginning of season number 3, and then we can go ahead and hopefully win the cup in our last season chance. At the start of our third and final season, these are the lines we're looking at. Maybe I want to spend our $3 million. I probably should have looked to find a replacement for Blandisi. I probably still can. There's probably still guys out there, but maybe 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 guys to fill out the rest of the roster. But wow, that is a physically menacing pairing. 6'5", 260 Bufflin, 6'4", 230 Weber. Then we've got Spurgeon, Petrie, and then Kulak and Mete, which is actually, guys, this looks really, really good. Fleury there instead of Kulak maybe will hopefully make this look even better with a +1 here. Hopefully, we hope. No? Okay, right, left, right. Okay, so a ton of righties on the team. But let me go ahead and look at free agency really quickly. But those are the lines we're looking at right now. I would like probably at least 1 forward before we jump into next season. But who's still a free agent? I'm not sure. We could always trade for somebody too. I'm always willing to trade futures right now. Yeah, there's nobody out there, but we could definitely find a trade for somebody that's on somebody's trade block. I will go ahead and make that trade and update you guys with the lines before we go ahead and start any simulation. All right, guys, I found a trade for a bottom 6 winger that I think I want to do. I'm going to get rid of Kulak because he doesn't even play anyway, and he's making more money than their other option here in Ouellet. I don't want to really get rid of Lehkonen because I think he's got the potential to still jump, and he's, another forward. We need to substitute in Johnson for Wheel here. So I'm going to go ahead and accept this straight up. I think it's a good deal for us, and there we go. Welcome to Johnson now on the team. 81 overall left winger, hopefully is going to fit in nicely. Third line scorer, sniper, so looks pretty good to me. Well-rounded actually as well. I'm also going to see what we can get for our first, like our first and second. Wow, they have absolutely no value, and we could get, hopefully it's not futures, hopefully it's Noel Acciari. Oh, actually that's the only trade we could get. Acciari is actually not a bad bottom 6 guy. Let's see, what is his overall? 80 overall is fine. He's really good defensively. He's not going to put up too many points. I wonder if we would just be able to get something better if we only offered our first instead of our first and second, because maybe sometimes teams feel like they need to match the value entirely. Let's give up 2 firsts. Let's give up this and next year's first. See if we can go big or go home, right? It's not looking promising unless there's a lot of trade offers. Not looking like that. Just our first would be able to get us Carpenter, Coleman, Acciari, or Marcus Foligno. Foligno could be a decent option unless he's regressed. I think he's like a low 80. Acciari was an 80. Marcus Foligno is 78. Never mind. We're going to back out of that. We're going to go back and see what the other guys were. I know Coleman is another decent guy we could go after. Carpenter I looked at. I didn't look at Blake Coleman here. He still could be like an 81, and if he is, I might go after him. 2 years left. He's an 81. Yeah, I think, he's a little bit better than Acciari. We're going to do that trade with the Dallas Stars, and beautiful. So now we have Coleman and Andreas Johnson. Still $2 million in cap space. So if we needed to, we could find a trade for next year's first as well. But really, guys, it's all about this season. This is it. It's now or never. We don't really have any rookie skaters that are worth anything. Coleman's in the AHL, and then their best prospect is Kidney. So let's go ahead. What will we get for next year's first? Does anybody actually want it? We could get a Chari still. Which I think I might do. That would help round out the bottom, and we don't need the pick anyway, so there we go. That's all said and done. Let's go ahead and edit the lines, do some roster moves, call up Coleman from the AHL. Suzuki's an 82, Jansson's there as well, so yeah, those two guys are going to be definitely helpful to round out the AHL squad. Coleman, oh my god. We have absolutely nobody left in the system because I haven't even bothered caring about it. Let's do that. Beautiful. Acciari is an 80. Yep, there he is. Edit lines. We'll check him out. I don't really care about the AHL, like I said. We'll best lines this son of a gun and see how we do. Schwartz. Okay, so it doesn't look like anybody. Okay, so if we do... Yeah, if we move Coleman up like that. Janssen for Schwartz. Yeah, I'm really not feeling the Tarasenko third line thing. I think I'm going to go more for overall than I am for... overall, like I was saying, maybe move Suzuki to that right winger. He's a third line scorer. He's just, yeah, him and Coleman are very comparable players, but it just looks a little bit better now. And the defense is still looking really, really solid. Very, very excited about that. And goaltenders, Carey Price has started to regress a bit, probably because of a little bit of a poor performance last season. We're going to leave that be. And hopefully, guys, I can check in with you at the start of the playoffs after this final season. So, guys, I think I am going to do this trade that the computer just offered me. Tyler Bozak on an expiring deal, 80 overall. He's another guy to just plug and play at the bottom there if we need him, if things aren't going well. And besides, Lennox is never going to make the team anyway, so that's fine for me. We're doing well right now. Very, very well, I should say. So let's go ahead and see. Maybe, does he have a place in the team? Maybe I just did that trade just to do that trade, and he's just chilling there now, but... as you can see, we are doing really, really well, and I don't know if I want to upset the apple cart too much. Maybe on this fourth line, though, with Arturi Lehkonen being a -4, we can swap him out. Scratched is Bozak, so we'll throw Bozak in there. Hopefully that'll help out. Bozak was playing in the AHL all season, so hopefully he can, step it up. He had a really good AHL season. Hopefully he'll do well here in the NHL. So let's go ahead and jump to the end of the season. So for the second time in 3 seasons, we finished with over 100 points. This season with 104, this time coming in third behind the Stanley Cup champions, Ottawa Senators. Yes, you heard me right. Ottawa did just win the Stanley Cup this past season. And now we have to get through them and Tampa. And this year, though, our 104 points is not good enough for the division lead, as the NHL seems to be really stacked on teams this year. Very, very good teams all across the league, which does not bode well for us. But here are the stats. Let's go ahead and jump in. It doesn't look like Tarasenko did as well as he has in his first season. He hasn't topped that yet. But we have added more talent around him. Good season from Domi and Drouin. Gallagher there. Let's keep it with the forwards. Strome and Krejci did fine. Suzuki, meh. Coleman with 40 points. Schwartz. Johnson here. Bozak was a -4 down there with 4 points in 24 games. Arturi Lehkonen had 11 points in 58 games. So, I mean, I guess you could say Lehkonen was better because he just takes more shots. I have no idea. I don't know who's better. I think I might throw Arturi Lehkonen back in there. Suzuki at 40 points was a -7, though. Defenseman-wise, the real weak pairing is Fleury and Mete. That is really, really bad. But Petrie, Spurgeon, Bufflin, and Weber all had great seasons. And then in goal, Carey Price did much better. So did Caden Primo. Now that he's an 82. Carey Price did much better than he originally was doing. So, or I should say last season. I think I am going to get rid of Lehkonen, or get rid of Bozak and put Lehkonen back in. Because I think the team just kind of played better. We were more so fighting for the #1 spot in the division, less so #2 in the division. But then again, our division's absolutely stacked. A couple games this way and that way, and the whole division, standings are flipped on their head. But we are going to be taking on the Ottawa Senators in round #1. So let's go ahead and get a quick sneak peek of what their lines are before we go ahead and take them on. We're not only listed as a hopeful, which is really concerning. But then again, Yeah, anything can happen in the sim once you're here. But they have Hall, Tierney, and Kachuk, which is, oh my goodness, this team is actually really, really good. They got Holtz, so he's actually helping them. And they got Shabbat and Krug, and then Brandstrom. Oh my God, this team is very, very good. The good thing is they don't really have a goaltender. We definitely have them beating goaltenders, but I just don't want a first-round exit. I want this to be exciting. I don't want it to be an anticlimactic ending. Well, at least we didn't miss the playoffs. That would have been the ultimate anticlimactic ending to this episode. But let's go ahead and see. Can we please be up at least 2-1? We win that one in overtime. We lost that game. Can we please be up 2-1? And yes, we are 2-1. All right, how about 3-1? Can we? Come on, win this game, boys. Come on, yes. All right, in a 3-1 series lead for us, Shea Weber continues he just found his form since I've been the GM. He's just kind of come back and been the Shea Weber of Nashville. First period in this elimination game, we are up 1-0 thanks to Nick Suzuki, who's not had the greatest season either. Second period, Ottawa absolutely storms back. Tarasenko stops the bleeding, but 4-2 now in favor of Ottawa in this elimination game. But Brendan Gallagher brings us back to within one. Can we go ahead and get this thing tied? I saw the red. I saw the goal. Was very excited for a second. But Noel Acciari is actually going to make me excited again halfway through the period. Still down by 1. We need to tie this thing up, boys. Obviously. But we've been down this whole period. Goals trading. We can't trade goals anymore. We need one. Just one. We got a power play. Unable to get it done. 5-4 loss there. Now it is 3-2 in the series. Shea Weber now has 9 assists in 5 games. The dude is absolutely insane. I've never seen Shea Weber simulate this well. Like, ever. I've never seen Shea Weber do this well. First period in game number 6 goes like that. Nothing happening, but Ottawa's getting a lot of shots. Thank God for Carey Price. Second period, yes, there we go. Thank God for Carey Price as we get a 3-0 lead, and Duclair finally breaks the ice for Ottawa. But we are up 3-1 as we give Ottawa a power play. As man, they are just peppering Carey Price. But this is the Carey Price of old, as Vladimir Tarasenko of your Montreal Canadiens, which is so weird to say. Gets us a 4-1 lead halfway through the period now. Logan Brown is going to get Ottawa back within 2. I don't think it's going to happen for him, though. There's only 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes. Yeah, it's pretty much over. We're going to go ahead and just simulate through this one. We are past Ottawa into round number 2, and hopefully, for our sake, the Lightning have lost. Nope, just kidding. They demolished Boston. So, wow, we've had a really tough division. Like 2 straight years. In the 2 years of the same, it's been Boston and Ottawa have been the Stanley Cup champions. And now we have to face Tampa yet again. I doubt their lines have changed very much. They came in first in the division. Can we do as well against them? Wow, they now have Stamkos, Point, and Kucherov on the first line. With Matthew Joseph here. Two-way forward with Cirelli and Radish. Volkov, Stevens, and Gord, and then Palat, Johnson. Why is their fourth line so much better than their third line? Like, what? Why? Defensively, they still have they're very top heavy is what I'm going to note here. McDonough, Demers, Cernak, and Foote there also pretty good. And then obviously Vasilevsky is going to be sick. But I don't know. I'm not as afraid of this team. It's very top heavy. I made a point to really build a foundation on this team. Hopefully we can go ahead and get past him here and make it further than we've ever made it before. But getting out of the Atlantic Division opponents have been very tough for us. So let's hope we can get up to a good, again, all I want is a 2-1 lead here. After game 1, we lose. Game 2, we lose. Game 3, we win. So we're down 2-1. Can we make it 2-2? We do not, and it's an elimination game, and we are down 3-1. Ryan Strome with 9 points is now our leading point getter. So that means that what's-his-face has gotten 0. But we are going to switch this and move Strome down and Krejci up. Krejci's a really good fit for that second line. Schwartz is not. Gallagher is. Andreas Janssen is. So you know what? That's a +3. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that and just see what happens. We're gonna keep this spread out with Byfuglien. Oh, Byfuglien's down to an 83. Maybe I should have noticed that. Petrie is definitely better than he is. Spurgeon did not overtake him either. So maybe I should have noticed that. I should have paid more attention. Maybe I don't know if I can really blame myself for that. I just kind of assumed Byfuglien would be fine. First period, 1-1. Okay, Stamkos and Tarasenko, 2 absolute snipers here, boys. After 2, it's Tampa up 4-2, and it's really looking like we're going to get eliminated unless we can get some shots off. Here on the power play, nothing's going to happen. Tampa Bay gets a power play, but Coleman is going to score, and my hope is restored. 4-3, we have a chance. 10 minutes to go in this third period. Elimination on the line. 6 minutes to go here, still 4-3. Come on, boys, let's do it. Stamkos is going to score, and that is going to be... Fuck off, Kucherov. That is going to be all she wrote for this episode. 6-3 loss here. Unable to make it out of the Atlantic Division, essentially. And I wouldn't be surprised if Tampa Bay goes on to win the Stanley Cup, because that's just how it goes. It's been 3 years of Stanley Cup, or 2 years, straight of the Atlantic Division winning the Stanley Cup. Will it be 3? Vancouver fires their head coach. And Dallas, they snapped the Atlantic Division's streak of winning cups. But guys, that is an L. We are now officially 1 for 2. Comment down below if you made it this far and what team you want to see. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see some more. And I will see you guys in the next one.